Are we ready? Hi, how are you today? Hope you're doing great. My name is Luciana, and here on my channel, I like to overshare my experiences, question stereotypes, and bring awareness to different motherhood and womanhood challenges. So if you're into that, subscribe right now. So let me start this first episode of Terrible Moms Tuesday by stating this. My goal with this series is not to bring women down. My goal here is to help empower you, to help you feel like you're enough, that you're doing the best you can, because you're making responsible decisions for your child's well-being. So Terrible Moms Tuesday is here to give you some perspective on what doing a bad job really looks like. But you also might be thinking, like, who the hell is she to be judging these women as terrible moms, right? I get it. I have no professional legal experience and I'm no psychiatrist. Nor do I have any specific studies that are relevant to the topics I'm going to talk about here. I'm just a curious person who likes discussing things, and I read a lot. And I like to be informed about the things that I talk about here on this channel. Discussing human behavior is something that I'm very interested in. Anyway, my channel is not about someone who has an expertise on something and is trying to pass this on to you. My channel is about bringing awareness and discussing relevant issues about motherhood and womanhood. And that's what I'm trying to do here. And in this series, I'm discussing mothers who have already been judged by the justice system. These are mothers who were caught and made it to the news. There are public case files about them. So it's not like I'm judging them. They have already been charged with doing something wrong when it comes to being a child's caregiver. So I'm just using it as an example to discuss a topic that I think it's important. So now that this is clear, let's proceed. So, you think you're a bad mom because you forgot to wash your kid's water bottle for 2 days straight? That's nothing. We've all been there, right? At least you're giving water to your child. It's a plus. Now this woman, on the other hand, is a real-life example of what a terrible mom's decision looks like. In today's episode, I'm going to be discussing a mother who went out partying and left her kid alone without arranging a babysitter, a friend, or any other responsible adult to watch over her. Yeah, welcome to Terrible Moms Tuesday. Anyway, let's get to the case and into the makeup. Before starting the series and researching content for the episodes, I honestly had no idea how frequent child abandonment and neglect happen. Like, I'm in shock. The number of cases I found when searching for the specific key phrase, mom left child alone to go party, is insane. And mind you, these are the cases that get reported. So the count is probably much higher in reality. That sucks. So my goal here is to help bring awareness to these issues, because it shouldn't be normal and it shouldn't happen so often. You know, unfortunately, some cases turn bad, where the partying mom comes back home to a child that is no longer alive. And that's crazy. Oh, I forgot to do a disclaimer. Warning. This video contains... Nothing, actually. It doesn't contain anything that is too hard to handle. I explained this on my first video about Terrible Moms Tuesday, the explanation, the beginning. So yeah, we're not going to talk about hardcore stuff here, so no need for the warning. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't judge the partying part of today's episode. We all love having a good time away from the kids. And we all would like to remember the days when we had the freedom to just go out and have fun all night long, without any responsibilities waiting for us at home, asking for breakfast at 7 a.m. I feel you. But now that you're a parent, if you want to do that, you should definitely arrange for someone to watch over your kids, while you are out and about having drinks and getting wasted. Common sense, right? Now this mom completely forgot that. So today we're going to be talking about Alexandra Ciliento, who is a 29-year-old mother from Arizona who got arrested in September 2018 for leaving her 4-year-old daughter home alone while she went out to party. Alexandra apparently worked for a fitness company. She's a very fit woman, looking good. Like, damn, did you see this picture? Look, don't get me wrong, like, I hate those people that, like, some of the media outlets that were saying, like, ooh, look at her in a treadmill working up a sweat, like, trying to paint her in a picture as if, like, she cares more about that and her looks than she cares about her daughter. Like, we don't know that, okay? We can judge. And we shouldn't judge women for, like, caring for her body. Like, she looks really good. And it's very healthy to be toned and fit. And we all know that by now. So yeah, I didn't like that when I was reading the news. Some of them were reporting in a certain tone. And although, I mean, this series is to discuss her bad decision as a mom, because we don't know her and we don't know everything about her, we can't judge her in that way. I mean, we're here just to judge a bad mom decision. To leave her daughter alone was a terrible mom decision. But we don't know the rest. We don't know her as a person. So, you know, we need to keep, like, focused on Anyway, but I couldn't find more information about her past on social media. Apparently, everything got disabled, and I can understand that. I mean, she probably received a lot of hate once this case hit mainstream media, even international press. So, yeah, I don't blame her for trying to disappear online. Anyway, I couldn't find much information about her online, besides the news about this case, so I couldn't do more research on her background. But according to her LinkedIn profile, she used to work for a company related to health and fitness. So what happened in 2018 that led to her arrest? I'm gonna get to that now. So it was a Saturday night, September 22nd, 2018, and Alexandra got ready for a night out. So far, so good. She left her apartment at 11 p.m., heading to the Scottsdale entertainment district, without making any arrangements for a babysitter or any other adult to stay with her 4-year-old daughter. And off she went for the night. Okay, 11 p.m. Saturday. That's when she left the apartment. The next day, Sunday, her daughter wakes up. Mom is nowhere to be found. She probably felt scared, confused, like any child would. So she decided to go get help. She then opened the locked door of her apartment. And then at 6 a.m., the little girl wandered to a neighbor's door and tells them that she has been alone all night and that she doesn't know where her mom is. Let me remind you, she's 4. 4 years old. According to police records, the neighbors waited around 45 minutes before calling the police, to see if the mom would show up. Now, I assume that the neighbors and the daughter didn't have Alexandra's phone number. I have a big forehead, I'm trying to conceal that. Because according to the records, the police only managed to get a hold of Alexandra at 8:20 in the morning, 8:20, with the assistance of the child's father, who gave them the number. 8:20 people, from 11 in the night. Okay, that's 9 hours and 20 minutes that the daughter was alone. Fucked up. Now that sounds like another red flag about the mother's behavior. Because if you're about to leave your child alone for the night, wouldn't you leave your phone number in bold, like by the door or in the fridge, for your child to contact you in case something happened? I don't know, it just seems strange to me. So it's past 8 in the morning, right? Police are there waiting for Alexandra. She finally arrives home and gets arrested. Child abandonment, endangerment, or however the act of leaving your child alone, unattended, is categorized. When questioned by the officers, she said she wasn't aware her daughter could manage to get out of the house, and that she didn't know that her daughter knew how to open a locked door. I'm sorry, lady, is that supposed to make you look better? You just left your child unattended for 9 hours, and the only thing you want to address is that you didn't know she could open a door? She was alone, that's the whole point, that's the whole problem here. Now I don't know what's worse, to leave the daughter alone, without arranging for someone to come and stay with her, and without giving her a phone number to contact you, the mom, in case she needed something, or the fact that the basis for the mother to think that her daughter was safe was that she couldn't open a locked door. Does that make sense to you? Now, I know that every child develops at a different pace, but come on. She's a 4-year-old kid. She's not 1. She pretty much can do anything that you do, just on a smaller scale. After reading the online court case files, I understood that she was found guilty of 1 count of child abuse.
You are here on a new matter involving 1 count of child abuse, a class 5 felony.
I still don't understand why abuse, if it was like neglect and abandonment, but okay. The child is in the custody of the father, and Alexandra is reportedly not allowed to see her daughter. Alright, now just stop to think about it. Mother wanted to go out, thought it was okay to leave her daughter alone. She comes back home, police is there, and she's arrested, and now she can see her daughter. Let that sink in for a moment. Done? Okay. Now let's talk about the issues here. What goes on women's mind that do this to think that a small child could care for themselves all night long? Do they think that the child would have an adult common sense to know how to avoid getting into trouble? Although even some adults don't have that, an adult common sense. So, when I leave my son alone in the living room for like 2 minutes, my mind starts going crazy, thinking about all the worst case scenarios that could be happening while I'm not watching him. He would probably be balancing himself on top of the couch headrest or climbing on top of the dining table, which is made of glass. Yeah, I think we need to change that. Or he could be trying to climb on the TV rack and then jump towards the couch. Also an option with him. Ninja boy. What I'm trying to say is he gives me mini heart attacks every day. So I honestly can't comprehend What went on these women's mind? To think it was okay to leave their child alone all night long. Like, okay, I get it. At a certain age, kids are already sleeping all night long. They rarely wake up. So you might think, like, what can happen, right? The kids will just go to sleep. I'm gonna go out and then I'll come back home. And they will either be still sleeping or just waking up. No big deal, right? Wrong. Of course this is not alright. Even when they're sleeping, you should still be there. I mean, not with them in the room, but like in the household. What if something happens in the middle of the night? What if during these summer days, an insect entered the room during the day and you didn't notice? It hit somewhere. And then in the night, it finds its way into your child's bed. And it stings your kid. Like a bee or a wasp, for example. Then he or she starts having an allergic reaction. And you're not there to notice. Then you come home, and the child is dead. Because you or someone else wasn't there to catch the discomfort and the difficulty breathing while the child was having an anaphylactic shock. Or maybe the kid wasn't feeling so good in the stomach. And he or she throws up in the middle of the night. Like barfs a little bit. And chokes on his or her own vomit. Now, okay, this is usually applied to very small children, but it can happen. I know, my mind sometimes goes to extremes, but shit can happen and you or someone else should always be there to help. To notice when something is not right. But if there's no one in the house, how's that gonna happen? Okay, so let's talk about the emotional damage then. What if the kid wakes up in the middle of the night and is looking for you and you're not there? They're like, where are you, mommy? And you're nowhere to be found. Like it's what I assume happened to this girl when she woke up and Alexandra wasn't there. So the kid is looking for you and it doesn't see you around. Get out of the bed, looks for you in the house, you're not there. Boom. First trauma right there. Of neglect, of being abandoned. And then, if the child is big enough, they might get into trouble trying to look for you outside the house or the apartment. They can get hit by a car. They can be attacked by the neighbor's dog. They might be kidnapped. Like, the world can be a shitty and scary place for a child without the parents or legal guardian, whatever, like the caregiver. Let's not traumatize our children, shall we? Yeah, I went overboard with this eyeshadow here. I'm gonna have a play date later on. I'm gonna show up with these raccoon eyes. I'm gonna scare the moms there. Anyway, she was arrested and I couldn't get any further information about the case online of how long was the sentence or the probation or if she has the right to see her daughter right now because that information was paid and I didn't want to spend money on this. But like, how fucked up is this? Oh, I didn't know my kid could open the door. Like, you're the parent. Like, do you even know your kid? I mean, kids learn so fast. They can watch you do something only once, and the next thing you know, they're repeating it. Probably doing better than you. So, come on. Now, I'm not saying that generally this woman is a terrible mom. But leaving a 4-year-old child alone overnight, that's a terrible mom's decision. 100%. A bad decision that led her to not being able to see her daughter anymore. At least, I mean, as far as I could find online. I want to believe that she's suffering because she loves her child. And being apart from your child is horrible. Any caring mother would feel like crap if that happened to them. If that's the case, then maybe she's showing some remorse. Or maybe she's happy that she doesn't have to care for the child anymore. Maybe she did that on purpose, you know? So the child would be taken away and she could go on be free after serving her sentence. I don't know. I am loving this eyebrow gel from Essence. 13 shekels. But if that was the case, I guess there are more responsible ways to go about that. If she wanted less responsibility. These are all speculations, okay? I obviously don't know what went on Alexandra's mind. There are no records of any statement that she made after being arrested, so I guess we won't know what made her decide to do that and how she felt afterwards. All we can do is speculate and hopefully learn something from other people's mistake. But I also understand that not everybody has the same thought process and understanding of the situation's consequences. And if you're someone who can't realize these little things, like cause and consequence, by yourself, then just follow the instructions given by specialists. I mean, there are tons and tons of information out there, online and offline, that you can get it for free on how to care for your child and keep your child safe. And although there isn't a specific age that children shouldn't be left alone, according to the law, here's what's recommended to consider.
They suggest you look into several factors before deciding to leave your child at home, including the maturity and capability of the child, how long they will be left alone, and whether the child has access to either a parent or another responsible adult.
So I'm sorry, I'm usually not judgmental, but I can't in this scenario. I don't see any excuses for leaving your child unattended while you went out to have fun. Just can't, sorry. So women who do that are definitely stamped as a terrible mom in my book. But here's an example of a similar case where I don't think the woman is a terrible mom. Single mother of 4, had to drive her mother to the hospital because she was having a heart attack. It was last minute and she couldn't find someone to stay with her kids. And it was an emergency. She also had older children that could help watch the small ones. She had, I think, like an 11-year-old, and then an 8-year-old, and a 4-year-old, and a 1-year-old kid. Still, they shouldn't be left alone because a teenager, I mean, an 11-year-old is considered a teenager already, not even a teenager yet, might not know how to take care of a 1-year-old baby. That's not optimum, but it was a particular case. And again, it was an emergency. Her mother was having a heart attack. She thought that she didn't have a choice, in her point of view. So she left with her mother, and she came back 15 minutes later. She didn't disappear for 9 hours. So in those 15 minutes that she rushed her mother to the hospital and came back home, her 4-year-old son got out of the house, and a neighbor saw that the kids were alone and called the police. As soon as the police arrived home, she arrived right after them. Such an unfortunate situation. But it still doesn't make it right. She still shouldn't have left the kids alone. She could have called an ambulance to get her mother. She could have asked the neighbors, if she trusted them, to stay with the kids for like 20 minutes. That's not a lot to ask. I think most people with common sense would say yes. But again, it was a stressful situation and she still cared for the kids, trying to come back as soon as she could.
It all makes Anna very nervous, and she's already questioning herself.
Could you have called 911?
I could have, but I freaked out.
She says it's a mistake she won't make again.
So no, that's not a terrible mom. Similar case of leaving the kids alone, but a much nobler cause. However, the choice of leaving your kids alone all night long so you can go party for 9 freaking hours? I'm sorry, there's no other way around this. That's a terrible mom. How could the family or society have helped? Well, I personally hate nosy neighbors or family members. I think we all do, right? Yes, Susan. Nobody likes you getting your nose where it's none of your business. But there are some times in life where we could all use a good old nosy neighbor, like in situations like that. Because then someone would have noticed what was happening. A single mother struggling, she needs a break, she needs help watching the kids, and she isn't getting any. And some people are also very stubborn, and they don't ask for help. Community is so important, and most often than not, people will want to help. Okay, maybe you hate your neighbors, and their feeling is mutual. But you honestly have nobody in your life that could stay with the kids, so you can go out? So get a friend of a friend that you trust to stay with the kid, if you can't afford a babysitter. And if there's no other way to make it work, then stay the fuck home. I know the reality can differ considerably from family to family, and some have to leave their child alone so they can go to work and provide for their household. Yeah, I need to study more color combination because these are warm eyes and this is a cold tone lip. I'm learning, okay? But is it still wrong to leave your kids alone without supervision? To give you a perspective on how many kids are neglected a year in the US, and I talk about the US because 60% of my audience is from there, so according to childrensright.org, approximately 674 children were victims of maltreatment in 2017. Of these, 74.9% suffered neglect, and young children are particularly vulnerable. 1,720 children died from abuse and neglect, and 71.8% of these children were younger than 3 years old. That's fucked up. Now my questions are, does this happen because the parents didn't know how to properly care for a child? Maybe what's considered neglect is not clear to them. Perhaps we need a better village culture to help the parents who are struggling. All mothers deserve to have their free time to feel like they're human again. Because it's hard taking care of a small child. Maybe we need a more watchful community. Because maybe, just maybe, that moment of being judged by the nosy neighbor, asking where Alexandra was going, and who's watching the kid, as annoying as it is, would have sparkled something in her mind. That perhaps it wasn't the right thing to do, to leave her child alone. For the whole night. Maybe, you know? It's like those little moments that change everything. Okay, maybe she didn't plan to stay the whole night. Maybe she just wanted to go out for a couple of hours. Maybe she got into some drugs. Maybe someone did something to her drink. I don't know. And then she stayed all night long. Like, again, we're not in her shoes. We don't know what happened. I'm just considering the possibilities, okay? Speculations here. You know your intuition? The little voice in the back of your head telling you that you're about to fuck it up? Yeah, that's usually right. You should listen to it. I also understand that you don't want to leave your child with someone that you don't know. If you care enough for your child, of course. But definitely, it's not a better solution to leave them alone without anyone else watching them. To wrap this up, we are not in her shoes, nor do we want to be, nor should we be. We don't know if that was a one-time thing, lapse of judgment. Or maybe it wasn't the first time this mother did that, but it was the first time that she was caught. Look, we all make mistakes. It's how we learn. And since there is no parenting book to let everyone know what's the best action in every possible case scenario, parents are bound to make mistakes. That's okay, as long as we learn from them and don't do it again. One mistake doesn't make someone a bad person. But the point here is not to judge women, like I said in the beginning of this video. But it is to judge specific actions. What she did was reckless and irresponsible, and truly a terrible mom decision, because the child could have gotten hurt because of that. She wasn't thinking about her child's safety and well-being. Anyway, I want to leave it here, some food for thought for you about this subject. And that's it for today, for the first Terrible Moms Tuesday episode. I hope you liked the video, and I hope you got value out of it. If not, then at least I hope you got entertained, either by my observations or my bad makeup skills. If you liked this video, then please hit the like button. If you didn't, then I'll try my best next time. Let me know your feedback in the comments down below. Or let me know privately as well, through my social media handles here. I welcome all feedback. I have good intentions with my channel, okay? I really want to help, and I want to discuss important issues, but I also would like to entertain. Just let me know what you think in the comments down below. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you get notified whenever I upload a new video. Terrible Moms Tuesdays on Tuesday, obviously. And I also upload on Saturdays. Wow, it's getting hot in here. Oof. And that's it. I'll see you on Saturday. Bye!